Ой, добрый вечер. Мгм.
We're gonna need more than a few buckets to save her.
What if the orcs are sending in other fleets?
Sodden all the way to my boot soles.
Неплохо. Вот мы, конечно, получили, но ты никак ничего не сказал.
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do nothing but look on. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ship sunk, we're little more than 3 men with nothing more to say. These damn orcs. They can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to defend ourselves.
To find a day of labour?
Здравствуйте, Снегфлуп. Ай-я-ай-я.
That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd have been around when our own barge went down in flames. With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you can keep an eye out, though.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthul anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy leaf.
Sauce? Here in Sicil? Ah, of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. That was some fast acting there. Many thank madness. Thought we were done with those swampy uglies a fortnight ago. Note, though, that none of them dared to come close to the tide splitter.
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicil?
Took the Duchess of Feddel's carriage for a joyride.
Name's Conrad. Cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give old Conrad a holler when it comes to rare imports and magical items. Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard resides. Though even I must admit they put up a hearty effort.
400 yards of my loving nature.
I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthul anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
Вы знаете, вот
I
на
wouldn't
фоне
let
сейчас
all within
разговор
500
идет.
yards of my loving nature.
Очень странный птичка.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of
Очень
Feddel's
странно
carriage for a
говорит.
joyride?
No, he
Это
didn't. He drove it
английский
straight to the pub
акцент.
and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthul anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves
Это
him.
вот это
I wouldn't let
последнее,
all
что
within
сказано
500 yards
было.
of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddel's carriage for a
Sailor, what news from the
joyride?
Смотри, как, короче, англичанин звучит. Это может даже не, это может даже не английский, но откуда-то оттуда, может быть, даже ирландец какой-нибудь, типа, запросто. То есть, ну, какой-то такой голод. С Альбиона. Павел, короче.
Oh, hail the rain spirit. That was a fine display of magicianship, it was. I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the orc shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. But you managed to rescue her from a water eagle.
We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Well, tuck my tail and call me Bessie. A 2 feet addressing me directly? Huh, I thought I'd never see the day.
Забавно.
Oh, me and my brother Bolin dragged this here cart all around Sightseal, from dock to graveyard and back again. Speaking of Bull, you ought to say hello to him. He's clairvoyant, you know. Can tell your fortune.
I'm seeing 2 feet approaching me, and there you are. My powers astound even me. I'm Bull, the leading clairvoyant in Sightseal. The 2 feets never bother to ask, but I see, of course, most winsome 2 feet, of course. What? Well, that depends, 2 feet. That depends. I see that love has caused you to falter in the past. Yes, falter dearly. Why, yes, most wealthy indeed. But you must be vigilant, 2 feet, for I see that your wealth will come by
Это бык как
bloody
цыганка,
means.
еще конкретно.
Death. Ever the most difficult topic to foretell. I see. Oh.
Это цыганка. Так вот, эти цыганки, его можно пустить на фарш. Из груды рыбы я взял ровно одну рыбу оригинально. Забавно, что тут столько всего. С одной стороны. С другой стороны, как бы это много не надо пугать. О. А может и не пугает, а может и немного. Что сейчас было? Я рыбу смог половить? Алло. Серьезно? Ну-ка. Рецепт отрицательный. Вы думаете, с разряда правильно есть? Смешно.
I can't even smell the sea air over this rot.
Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
Фига, со статуей пойду поговорить.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the
Интересно,
foulest
что он
of the
узнает,
lot
как вы
on my
именно
racks.
дотушили этот корабль. Уважаю. И что в итоге 2 мертвых легионера?
Never been homesick a day in my life. Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my hands.
Давайте по приколу сходим сначала в странное место. Потому что
I
мало.
can't even smell the sea air over this rot.
Мне нравится, что нормально не переписывает название. Потом просто ставить по очереди.
Halt! These gates are to remain closed at all times. Well, I'll be a little red imp's uncle, the Source Hunter. Sorry for the gruff treatment. I didn't recognize you right away. Please tell me, how can I aid the investigation? You can see security's tighter than ever around here since that surprise attack the Orcs put on a fortnight ago. They did enough damage to shake up Ahu and Captain Aureus. We can only hope to hold back the undead and these left-field Orc attacks long enough for reinforcements to arrive. I don't think you're quite ready to head out into the wilds to me. Also, a party of 1 or 2 runs the risk of being outflanked and outnumbered. I'll bring some backup if I were you. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? Thank you for heeding my words of warning, Hunter. Sicil needs you.
Прислушаемся, раз он говорит, что не стоит туда идти вдвоем. Во-первых, это намек, что значит кого-то мы еще возьмем. Ну, это очевидно кого мага. Кровище убийство. Смерть. Ага, заперто.
What's this? I found something.
I give milk. I give wool. And what do I get in return? One way or another, they always try to fleece me. Especially that
The earth here seems to have been freshly fertilized and aerated. Obviously, someone has taken great care to maintain.
We and our shovels will do as we please.
That's right. Let's get digging.
За работу.
As you prepare to break ground, you gaze at the dirt.
All right, time to get digging.
Here's hoping we find something worthwhile.
You plunge your shovel in.
Бессердечность. Смешно. Еще 2 трупа. Смешно. Долго мы будем дверь вламывать такими темпами.
Under lock and key.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I...
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need. I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times. But what choice have I got now? If it's steal... So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish?
I suppose you've got a point. Another day, another rumbling belly. Morals never fed a hungry man, you know.
That thief is free for now, but I wonder how long it'll be until he's growling. Thank you for making that would-be thief see reason. I only hope your instruction lasts. The last thing the plagued people of Sicil need is a thief among them.
Если такая умная, знаешь, так хочешь сказать, ну, по идее, устроил его рыбу ловить. Хотя бы бучу есть. Капитан Джек.
What are ye staring at? Captain Jack's the name, though the title may be a little generous.
Вроде нормально. Спасибо, что спросил.
My crew ran off, and I
Так,
can't
погода
find
много
my
такая
party, so
себе, а
to
так.
help me reload the ship and sail off.
Quiet day on the
Those
market.
scallywags heard there be silver in the Lacula mines, and they abandoned ship like the lily-livered turkeys they are. Haven't seen them since the day we docked.
Watch the undead quiver in their
Some
mouth.
poor chaps lost their ship and want some work. Just send them to me, and tell them there's a bit of coin and a lot of...
Oh, hello, love. Nice day for a little stroll around the market, isn't it?
Well, hello there.
Get it while it's fresh. These batches only out from the sea.
15 тысяч, какой ужас.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Ah, hello, proportionate one. Oh, I can see from the symmetry in your face that you are a great fan. I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Sicil, and you'd be quite right.
Это все нормально радовало.
I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps. Like this rooster I'm working on now, and the landscape that surrounds it.
Lonesome. Undead at every exit. Orcs upon the harbour.
Elemental will inject some vim into your routine. Oh no, noble friend. Your upper
Особенно радует, когда
chakras are
там
in
бомбу
desperate
ставит
need of a
женщине,
good
когда она
scrubbing.
вылетает. Давай
Fortunately for
плати еще
you,
раз.
my
Господи, какой-то
home-brewed
бред.
tinctures will do the job. Or if you're in the mood for something a bit more electrifying, one of my air scrolls might give your system just the shock it needs. Ah, gracious patron, I see your tired eyes looking a bit teary. I've just the potion for that. Or would you prefer a toasty fire spell to dry those vapors?
Фига себе цены. Женщина, вы как-то этот... Вы не знаете... Ваша жадность не знает меры. А в патрулинг ходили или как? О, коктейль Молотова. Сегодня посмотрел небольшой видос. Дорого. Сегодня смотрел видос, как раз, знаете, он назывался много странно, типа кайфово, скажем так. Про женский алкоголизм неизлечим или что-то такое. Или трудно неизлечим. Не знаю. Что он против смысла? Там было забавно. Yes. Так вот, там было забавно, что эти, как их зовут? Короче, алкоголь. Да, во вначале появился вопрос, сколько алкоголя можно в день выпить. И на самом деле там все связано к тому, что алкоголь, ну, чтобы этот, то ли безвредно было, то ли вообще сколько алкоголя вредно выпивать, или больше сколько вредно выпивать. Ну, как-то так было звучал вопрос. Там, короче, любое количество алкоголя, оно вредно. Нет ни одного исследования, которое подтверждало, что какое-то небольшое количество алкоголя, оно вредно, бесполезно. Пока достойно, видимо, уважения. И вообще сводится к тому, что алкоголь, он сильно притупляет все твои действия, ухудшает твою работоспособность. И вообще не очень. Там была еще одна мысль, которую я не думаю, что на Твиче можно произносить, да и в России тоже особо нельзя произносить. Сравнение алкоголя с некими другими станциями, скажем так. Что алкоголь типа этот очень вреднее некоторых из них. Кстати говоря, нет. Особенно, типа, если у тебя есть предрасположенность, ну, если у тебя хотя бы раз была мысль про суицид, то пить вообще не стоит, потому что эта мысль может превратиться в действие. Плюс ты не всегда знаешь, ну, может развиться алкоголизм или нет. И типа, короче, такой себе. 2 из 10 не рекомендую. Общая логика. Ну, там... Изи. Вот видите, вот что апатия. А разве это хорошо?
No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better. To become the full extent of the promise that is
там тоже была
locked
смешная
inside of
шутка.
each and every one of us. So first of all, let me ask you this question. Do
А вы знаете, кто был зожником Урмата? Я сейчас почувствую себя немножечко Стасом Сатори, или он же Стас как просто, и он же Стас Васильев. Нет. У него есть такая шутка, внезапный, ну, не внезапный, может быть. Он типа всегда такой в шутках говорит: а знаешь, что еще так делал? Гитлер. Вот я тоже хочу так сказать. А знаете, кто еще был зожником? Гитлер. И при том, что какой-нибудь Черчилль, он очень сильно любил выпить. Ну, очевидно, что Сталин тоже. И, ну, и как бы этот человек с юга, Грузия, все дела там. По-моему, осетинец даже. То есть вина, этот, как его зовут? Курение трубки и прочее. Я не знаю, Гитлер, наверное, тоже и не курил, кстати говоря. Вот. Плюс он был вроде как вегетарианец. Ну, по крайней мере, не то чтобы вегетарианец, но мясо не особо. Вы знаете, родиться в семье этих аристократов и у тебя и быть в депрессии, это так забавно. Это забавно. Там быть первым лордом адмиралтейства, да. Это просто вгоняет в депрессию.
Of course I do. How could...
Quite right. Adventure is what we live for.
See here. You and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path. The rush of finding yourself in a goblin ambush, knowing you'll prevail nonetheless. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now...
Riches do not interest me much.
Nor me. Wealth is but...
Oh, but I know you're just being bashful. I bet that in your heart, even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those orders, Investigate this, retrieve that, and at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? Wouldn't you prefer
Ну,
to
и, кстати, касательно Черчилля, там же почему про него говорилось, что он ну, по сути, у него был алкоголизм у Черчилля, то есть он очень много пил. А под конец жизни чуть ли не сам этот, типа, не с самого утра уже там стакан опрокинуть.
It's better to lead than better to be served than to serve. I can.
Well spoken. Well said indeed.
Он пытается манипулировать.
Life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding, am I right? Of course I am. And I could help you, and that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab. So that I could
Скажем так, алкоголизм не помогает выйти из депрессии, поэтому не факт, что он туда вгоняет, хотя может, по идее. Ну, то есть он может привести к каким-то последствиям, которые приведут тебя психологическим, всяким другим моментам, которые способствуют твоей депрессии. То есть не сам алкоголь, а его социальные последствия могут тебе помочь туда войти в депрессию.
Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers guild in Riverlong. Our mission, you'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would.
Зачем, если вы такие клевые, зачем я вам нужен?
If you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. But if not, how about we get started? What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow.
Мне очень не нравится, как он разговаривает. Я откажусь.
To join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of knight is bestowed upon you the moment you sign our waiver, and so it all begins. I shall be the one to give. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five, and thereby draw... By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. For like a family, we support one another, cheer one another, work hard, fulfill contracts, enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better yourself. You will better
Вербую новых рыцарей, я понял. Да, это как это называется? Сетевой маркетинг.
What's not to like? They call the undead a problem, my friend, but those who know the ways of the Fabulous Five see no problem.
Неотвратительный чувак вы. Неотвратительный ты и все, что вы связано. Вот знаете, вот прям горит с такого подхода, когда тебе вот так вот нагло едет по ушам. Великолепный вопрос. Я вот чувствую себя, знаете, у меня какие-то флешбеки вьетнамские в голове начинаются, и я чувствую себя что я разговариваю с этим, с каким-нибудь представителем банка. Мне даже всегда было интересно узнать, а вот вы, люди, не думаете, что в реальности имеется в виду? Что это как раз отторгает вот это ваш великолепный вопрос. А еще что-то вот это вот, прям это же бесит. Какая интересная дама. Давай с нами пойдешь.
A source hunter, is it? Well, my day just became rather more stimulating. Oh, stand still then, if you don't mind. I want to take Hall as an elf. strong as an oak. But your face, quite classical, isn't it?
Просто эльфы это маленький, что ли, я не понял.
Yes, smooth and sturdy as marble, yet fine as a chisel's edge. And my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say, can it be? You're exactly the person I've been searching for. That I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component? Like if you could only fill a certain void. I believe I have found that component. That body. That spirit within you, Source Hunter. Come. If ever we are to be united, we must truly end. Yes. You must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as time
Я ухожу. Дура тупая. Я-то думал. Забавно. Забавно они сделали. Реальностевый маркетинг. Скорее всего, от этих уродов толк вообще никакого. А это просто типа, они все друг друга вербуют. На этом все. Вот 100% уверен, именно так все.
Greetings, traveler. And may the immaculate conduit's myriad blessings comfort and cradle you. You mean you haven't heard? Oh, what fortune that I may share the goddess's salvation with one who has, as yet, been lost.
Кстати, Румат, у меня к вам вопрос.
Steel yourself, friend, for your mortal spirit could be forever transformed from this moment forth. The conduit, our link to the goddess herself, has given us a special gift, and the gift is thus.
Я просто надеюсь, что Румат вот поэтому жду, пока у вас появится возможность задать вам вопрос. Если вас не тут, мы подождем и зададим вам в следующий раз, когда вы тут появитесь. Мне тоже так кажется, с Никлом. Мне вот так интересно, знаете, сейчас решил, увидел какую-то новость, решил прочитать ее. Суть в чем? Не, вот про Криса Вилон, там знаменитый сценарист, все дела. У него же было обвинение в домогательствах всяких. Так вот. Ну, там, сейчас он подал в суд на всех тех, кто его обвинил. Просто не в этом, вопрос в другом. Что там с Космоголовым пускай разбирается суд. А вот здесь появился вдруг внезапно некий персонаж Джефф Джонсон, дизайнер, известный как Джефф Дэниэль. Опубликовал собственные воспоминания о знакомстве и сотрудничестве с Карисой Бэрроуз. И эти свидетельства тем более интересно, что сами события происходили примерно тогда же, когда девушка познакомилась с Вавилоном. Но потом она обвинила его в домогательствах всяких. Вопрос в другом. А почему ты сейчас об этом говоришь? Ты не мог об этом сказать тогда, когда на него обвинения на него пошли? Типа, что-то ждал? Присоединившись к команде, она предложила помочь связаться с Дэвидом Гейгером. Гейгер это который этот, что ли, чужой? И Крисом Авилоном, дескать, с ним она даже целовалась. Как вспоминает Джефф Джонсон, Кариса вообще очень тепло отзывалась об Авилоне, упоминая его практически как своего бойфренда. И в одной из частных бесед признала, что хотел бы с ним встречаться, но не уверена в его чувствах. Там переписка подана, то есть с пруфами. Вот говорю, вопрос. Чувак, что ты ждал? И некоторых вещей просто не понимаю в людях. Опек, следуешь по всему миру, возникли неполадки с серверами. И, наверное, опять Titanfall требует. Возвращение Юрмата. Сейчас у меня к вам вопрос будет. С своей арахисовой пастой, да? Вопрос звучит следующим образом. Вы посмотрели аниме, которое я вам советовал? Уже лето. Уже середина лета. Почти. Прошла.
By following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way, we can each of us live on for a span
Когда будете смотреть?
than the number of stars that twinkle within the goddess's right eye. She came from on high to we mortals and showed us the path to the goddess, where all she showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but that through her methods we could ascend to greater life in service of the
Хорошо.
goddess.
Напомните, чем советовал смотреть? Темнее черного, наверное, да? Надо тогда просто если вы начнете смотреть, я тоже, может быть, начну смотреть. Хорошо, договорились.
Ah, for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, friend, through the forest and into the town of Silvergate. There, among her followers and friends, dwells the goddess's ecstasy. What's in a name, dear friend? For we all begin equal in the conduit's eyes, and only through great deeds go on the path to the righteous, my friend.
Какие-то поехавшие, если честно. Ну там я тоже бывает не часто быстро смотрю. Пара серий в день, например. Что это? Ага. Бамка не может быть. Очень подозрительно. Просто не знаю, стоит ли оно того или нет. Там, по идее, ничего взять не получится. Чтобы я не брал, тут все равно будет воровство. Я не хочу воровать. Гландер.
Greetings, greetings. Oh, you are most welcome in my chamber. Customers rarely find me up here, but I do so abhor the hustle and bustle of the marketplace. That I am. I have spent more of my life on the road travelling alongside great caravans than I have in any given place in Rivellon. You wouldn't believe some of the things I have seen. Oh yes, a city besieged by the dead isn't even remotely special to me. All the better that it isn't. For you and for... Oh, but let us not discuss. Let us browse and barter.
Угу. Любопытно, опять же, я не знаю, что мне делать.
Must be some way to open this.
Ага. Заперто. Ладно.
Stop right there until you've received the captain.
Я понял. Сначала нужно с капитаном поговорить. Ай. Давайте с котиком поговорим. Это котик же.
Never saw you in the king crab before. You're welcome to scratch me behind the ears if you like. I won't scratch back. I am Unsinkable Sam. At least that's what they call me around here. Used to be a ship's cat, but the clipper I was on sank, and I was the only one to wrestle himself free from the waves. The people here were kind and took me in, being the king crab's foremost patron ever since. So I was. What friends I had. They drowned alongside the rats I used to hunt in the galley. And there I was, all alone.
Had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of...
Not that I have it bad here, mind you. I've milk and fish aplenty. Most folks will pet me kindly, and when one of the village girls holds me tight against her ample bosom, I purr up a storm. But I do long for a companion of my own kind. And in that regard, there is no one like Maxine.
Maxine, ooh.
Speak that way to her.
A magnificent ship she was. Used to belong to a pirate, I was told. Unlike me, she didn't prove to be unsinkable, though. We hit the cliffs right neath the lighthouse. Not very apt a name for that building, I must say, for no light was shining from it.
Come now, Alistair.
The moment I hit the water, I writhed around like I would on a hot tin roof. By some miracle, I managed to reach the beach, covered in kelp and smelling worse than a fish's funeral parlor. But I was alive, and that was more than anybody else could say. Maxine, the mayor's darling pet. So gentle, so fair a feline. The grace of her whiskers, the subtle palette of dyes in her sable coat. She likes me. I know she does. But when I declare my love, she backs away. I don't know why. I have serenaded her and braved many a bucket of water for my efforts. But for some reason, she is not to be swayed. By all means. People make a fuss about them because they endanger the lands around the city. They never bother me when I'm out for my monthly walk, though. But still, I do detest them. I mean, they're so unnatural, aren't they? Cat? Oh, don't mention orcs to me. Worse than dogs, that lot. Sank Walrus Willie's boat right from under him. Best anchovy fisher in the world, he was. A lot.
Tell me,
Mm-hmm.
Alistair, have you ever had
герцог.
Hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have, like our noble Captain Aureus before you. It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Counselor and I were anything near allies. I am the Duke of Ferrell. Though I suppose my name is in the mouths of enough ruthless gossipers.
Странный персонаж. Предлагаю найти и поговорить с этим сначала. Ой, кстати, тут и что я могу покачать всяких стратегических игр, не знаю. На стрим буду, может быть, поигрывать, может быть, чисто для себя. Ну, как стратегических. В основном все это симуляторы строительства или управления чем-либо. Пока что вот гильдию 3 пришел скачать. Ну, вот скачал, посмотрел. Господи, какая она кривая. Понятно, что ничего не понятно. То есть, если в игре нужно пройти обучение, чтобы в нее играть, и человек там, ну, с неким опытом этих игр, это проблема, потому что, ну, может быть, это проблема в том, что я ни одну гильдию не играл, но, блин, я же опыт какой-то есть. То есть, ваша игра должна быть немного очевидной, нет? Если я, меру, помню, в свое время начинал играть в Европу Universalis, не играя ни в одну из игр, мне было тяжело, я не понимал, но постепенно, возвращаясь, я постепенно учился играть. И это, ну, получалось. Именно постепенно, в чем прикол. Хотя там было обучение, которое я принципиально не проходил. Потом я обучение решил пройти, еще какие-то парочку вещей узнал там дополнительных, но в целом, то есть, без обучения спокойно прошел. Также был со Stellaris, с Heart of Iron. Ну, там же было немного проще, так как, пройдя одну игру, Crusader King, кстати говоря, пройдя одну игру, все остальные у них, они, ну, что-то схожее есть. А вот ты запускаешь гильдию 3, типа, еще ничего не понимаешь. Я кое-как догадался, как там можно отношения заводить, и то частично. Как там зарабатывать, работать, что-то такое делать. Понятия не имею. А это плохо. Отсюда возникает их проблема. Потому что если раньше гильдии была, ну, гильдия была игра, ну, достаточно известная, сейчас она вообще никому не нужна, а разработчики, ну, уж такие же никому не нужны. Это я к чему? Потому что... Все потому к чему? Потому что вы слишком усложняете игру. В том плане, что вы ее делаете слишком неочевидной. Надо ее сделать очевиднее. Чтобы я... Ну, потому что вот не хочется проходить обучение. Обучение для меня это часто трата времени, кстати говоря. Потому что обучение встроено в прохождение, где его можно отключить в любой момент. Это совсем другое. И типа возникает вопрос, собственно говоря, разработчиков. Вы не думаете, что почему там в цивилизации, например, обучение в процессе прохождения игры, а не этот не отдельной компании идет? Ну, в Stellaris также, кстати говоря. Потому что так ты, ну, ты бывает думаешь, блин, не хочу тратить время на обучение, потому что оно конечное, и оно ни к чему не приведет. Хочу просто поиграть. Ты начинаешь играть, и тебя постепенно еще при этом вводит в курс дела, хотя бы на базовом уровне. А вот эти вот чуваки так не додумались сделать.
You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda, dearest. I'm just doing my duty. Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here. Sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda.
У нее умер муж, и к ней чувак подкатывает, что делаем вывод. Виноват чувак, он убил.
I am Septimus, seventh son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me, and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend, and I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. And I hold no such proof exists. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by foul sorcery. And what questions? The Sicilians used to say this was a chosen place, favored by the higher powers. But they don't talk like that much these days. Hard to feel favored with such horrors haunting every border, I imagine. I've fought orcs crazed with blood liquor, withstood assaults by ogres wielding clubs made of human bones and teeth. Aye, I've braved the poisonous spear tips of goblins aplenty. But never did I know fear until I faced the undead. Not a pleasant thing for a legionnaire to feel fear, but there you have it nonetheless.
Окей, я ухожу. Спираль.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas,
Вспомнил, я душу дьяволу продам, значит, тобой это про нее.
We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same.
Чувство убийства на почве выгоды. Не знаю, как сказать. Ну, типа, короче, она убила мужа, чтобы стать самой богатой. Нового мужа.
Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried. But so what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh. Well, what do you want to know? Can you tell this is the most ancient city in Andervale? That pagan statue jutting out from the harbour is thousands of years old, in fact. If an orcish cannon damages any of the ancient structures, there'll be hell to pay.
Физический идол в порту, надо найти его.
I'm telling you, a necromancer must have been at work in Sicile. Perhaps still is. How else do you explain risen dead sprouting like mushrooms in a single night? And that's not even the worst of it. No, the worst is they keep coming back. An endless legion of the dead that even the legion of the living cannot subdue.
Quite adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Move along.
Охранник. Охранник это что-то охраняет. Что ж. Давайте сходим к этому капитану, с ним поговорим. Несмотря на то, что я хочу еще хоть сходить в порт, не забыть там идолу найти это. И дурище поганое.
I'm overheating here!
Now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Furious! She bit me in the face!
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, Screech Woman.
The beast speaks? So you've half a brain behind that feral maw, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and ached an air of aptitude.
Hey, Tull.
Sorry, sir.
I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Furious. You'll only encourage it.
Hey,
who's that then? Come on, stand where my...
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trot. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like...
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Порвали лицо. Видимо, пытался съесть особо большой бургер, гамбургер. Либо этот, да. Либо что-то другое. Но мы не будем даже упоминать, что там, куда там.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits!
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy.
After all, a fearless hunter might...
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Those boots are in Barris at Bridge Troll. Get to shining, recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears? In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I'm happy to have a friend in such a place.
Она, кстати, похожа на этот, получается, нашего героя, потому что он тоже же такой же.
And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Thris. Do you know it? The wise godwolf Amira raised the child Thris among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Thris the wolfson, and I the bear daughter.
Байер, доктор. Доктор, видимо, дочь. Байер, видимо, этот медведь.
Ask freely, my friend. Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strand here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage. And one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom. Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I
Вообще,
would never have
я
learned
сейчас
more
вспомнил,
than
Dragon Age
this
был
could
забавный
teach me.
персонаж, который давала обед и разговаривала только при помощи текста из какой-то песни. Я буду не уверен, что песню не дописывали, исходя из того, что этому персонажу надо было иногда сказать по кустам. Суть не в этом. Вы знаете в чем? Суть в том, что тот персонаж, он был интересный. Потом он был даже не второстепенным персонажем. И он по большому счету нигде не появлялся. Я думаю, что было бы интересно добавить такого персонажа в какую-нибудь любую игру. Ну, типа, почему такого нету? Вот из нее можно было такой персонаж спокойно сделать. Что она знает какую-то песню, допустим, и может разговаривать какими-то стишками. И ты должен был еще понять, что она хочет сказать. То есть, она сказала там, типа, и тьма там сгущается, там-то, там-то, и что-то происходит где-то там-то. И ты такой думаешь, она сейчас согласилась с тем, что ты сказала, или сказала нет? Типа, у нее не специально сделано так, чтобы она могла разговаривать только строчками, или не было каких-то фраз, которые она могла просто использовать. То есть вот именно строчками было бы очень любопытно. А с таким персонажем взаимодействовать.
I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of it is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways. He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself.
Вот там серьезно какие-то англичане озвучивали игру. В этом нет ничего плохого, но ты уверен, что это англичане какие-то озвучивали игру? Small, как-то так она говорит.
He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him. I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him. That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him the next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment. He was kidnapped and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken.
That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next. In Home Forest, Every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Sir, no, sir.
It is difficult for me to claim humanity as you do. I am still learning to see myself in the faces of those I meet. And those I meet, it is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city source.
Забавно. Забавная девушка.
Sorry, sir.
Вообще, кстати говоря, проработка мира, конечно, неплохая. Мы как-то не быстро продвигаемся. Хотя, с другой стороны, что торопиться? Наслаждаемся игрой. По чуть-чуть играем, по чуть-чуть. Это к тому, что уже, на самом деле, я задумываю, что там где-то минут через 40-50, но через 102 сегодня и хватит стрима.
To leave the city is to venture into danger. Be careful, source hunter.
А как туда пройти, можно узнать?
The Legion stands at the ready.
Угу. Так, не помогаете пройти. Окей. Там промахнулись люди.
Heard any good tales, my friend? Ask freely, my friend.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Scythiel, but don't make waves. I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Scythiel. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead... Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town. Not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover the scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sisal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day, the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now, I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Sisal! We are the pride of Riverlon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seen.
Я даже знаю, какая сектора. С Пифи связанная. Секта.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. But certainly, what would you like to know? Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, to my great regret, none of them purr as yet. Oh, but that's not a trick, it's a blessing. Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct, even articulate speech. Perhaps humanity's greatest act, to be out in the night. To stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs, this I freely admit. Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make the polymorph permanent if she'd enchant me in my cat guise, but I'll just have to be careful around witches, won't I? I'm my own wizard, you know, and I don't intend to become anyone's familiar. By all means. Of course. I hope your investigation fares well. I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal, I'm afraid. They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, it took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt, I myself have none. Even though now it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, I wouldn't have sent for source hunters. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen, all the more dangerous to us because of their alliance with what should be a natural enemy. You won't see me teaming up with a terrier in a hurry.
Вопрос, а никто не задается, куда делась вторая девушка?
And what might those be? Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizens, the enemy is wily. They know us better than we know them, and they've found ways to avoid both detection and distrust. Yet I am somehow convinced that you may succeed where the Legion... You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior. But to the League, until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through, or, less likely, they are conclusively defeated, we can but... Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100...
Я понял тебя. Слышно. Угу. Так.
Those fools that embarrass a bridge troll get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Attention! About face!
Угу.
Ah, cruel fortune. You there? You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Седрик. Чосер забавно. Чосер же этот известный поэт.
Sit! Stay a while. Right in front. I'll excite you. I'll delight you. I'll beguile you. I'll Don't pity me. No, sir. Just a few years ago, I was the all-singing, all-dancing, all-sensational... When Reginald came, he brought some fantastic prop with him. Now, have you seen it? A talking head. Now, I never expect... It seems even my usually choosy audience has been taken in by that hack's little gizmo. I'm a man of skill, sleight of hand, feats of... And even when there's no crowd to speak of, old Reggie still has at least one fan calling bravo and hee-haw. Sure as the sun sets, that one devotee attracts... I don't know how he inspires such loyalty with less talent can... And who are you supposed to be? Oh, I should have been one of the greats. But here I am gathering peasants to watch peasants... No, really? I hadn't noticed. If not for this ridiculous... Don't you have an impressive library here in Sicil? I'm sure that beast of a librarian could rustle something up for you. Take it up with Katerina. She's the master of this pig circus after...
Угу. Можно описать, я понял. Это интересно. Это интересно. Давайте пока этот оставим на потом. У нас сначала нет развлечения, потом сначала неотложное дело. Спасение или наоборот. Убийство гражданки Эсмеральды. Вообще то, что наш персонаж разговаривает с животными, это довольно интересно.
I've spotted something interesting.
Почему интересно? Потому что этот... Потому что можно было это обыграть, что он с животными разговаривает.
No, that would be an
under disgrace.
You step away.
Пускай будет страдать, хотя бы бессердечие. Я не помню. Да. Лучше быть бессердечным уродом, а не сострадательным уродом. Предлагаю сейчас пока на все забить и пойти в этот порт. Сейчас мы самые близко находимся, когда можно где-то находиться в плане к порту. Поэтому давайте пойдем в порт. Там надо найти идола поганого и этих морячков.
Hello there. Welcome to Seal. I thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the...
And don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Count. Sauce? Here? In Seal? Bah! Don't forget the sauce?
Here in...
And don't forget the time you got
А, вот
caught
они.
passing a love note to the Lizard Council's
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. Really. So there's a captain offering booze and brass for a bit of crate loading. Gods be praised. You've...
Думаю, это обман, ну ладно. Капитан Джек, найдите свое место. Так, теперь надо еще глянуть и посмотреть так глазком, глянуть идолки Шибаган.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men respect...
Кстати, на лошади было бы гораздо лучше передвигаться, конечно, в этой игре. Медленно ходит, мне это не нравится. Это, наверное, самая не нравящаяся вещь в этой игре. Что он очень медленно ходит.
Foulest of the lot on my racks.
Встретил все силы, жить тут больше нет сил. Ну такая рифма. Ну ладно, пойдем. Не видно никакого выдорища, обманули нас. Бабка.
luck with the wheel of the good stuff.
Come now, Alistair. I'm sure you've met your match once or twice.
Stop right there. Until you've not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, your reward for getting your ear chewed off is a waltz through the town's finest magical murder scene.
Я мог сюда просто войти и тебя убить, если честно. Что было такое? Хлоп-хлоп, и я упал.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Ой, в мире на Perfect World это оно и есть.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. It will consume us all.
Консюмер. Что-то ругательство какое-то.
By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? Two Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very... Oh, yes, proper introductions. Zigzags the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was, and as for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves, how you got here on such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a soul but my own shadow. At last a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens and feast.
Maybe quite mad.
Черная дыра типа, что ли?
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic. Astounding. Onward we should go.
Пивко.
The portal! It's quite sprung to life, just like the long, dormant flames that decorate this... You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about those torches, a light! This portal active once more! It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronicler of time knows a pattern when he sees one. Ah, though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagued your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other but why spoil the mystery? And after you, oh,
Не-не-не, на самом деле плохая идея.
onward, forward.
Знаете почему? Потому что, ну, я бы так человека и спровадил бы. А, ты первый.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
Ага.
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of...
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles...
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much...
You have brought guests, I see.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? A stone. So, it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in all my work. Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected. Life does not simply spring into existence, but yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone. Starstone. I now know it to be called.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say, but I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly... Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater... Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's... If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of...
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble, even this plane.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then, please, our most mysterious guest. Are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us restore...
Вот у меня есть выбор.
Would it be, Source Hunter? Do tell.
Тем более это очевидно основной квест.
Not but a moment ago we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
Source Hunter, do tell.
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this, mad as it may seem.
No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the weak...
So, what do you think, Source Hunter?
Ладно.
The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you've not given up on our dear old river. No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend...
На самом деле я сегодня сонный очень, поэтому еще проблема. Я не хочу стримить. Я не хотел.
To send the void back to wherever it came from. But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver... Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of... Off you go, then! You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time. Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void, I honestly don't know. But ask her. If she claims it is so, perhaps she knows why. Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot, wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone sightseeing guide, but alas, such a booklet does not exist. Just like yourselves, Starstones are curiously absent from history. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers whose reign ended long ago. The stones are therefore ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the dens you should frequent. 2 more pieces of advice. Don't go unarmed, and consult with my agent. Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again more than implies that it, and this in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing the Weaver new threads. And that which she is weaving is more than an ornament to decorate the shelter plane. It is both history. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. We shall save creation from the grip of the void. Now, isn't that a lovely mission? Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. Old age can't touch me, that's what. But of course I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all of history, and an arduous task that is. Not to mention how much stress that void out there is causing me. The end. So, gather those star stones so that we may know the history that was lost. Know so that we must not repeat what lonesome, observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide of the eons, always approaching yet never reaching shore. Lonesome being privy to all that has... Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain, but one certainly... Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly wait to pick her brain about the great battle of the sons of Sigurd. The last Rivellonian who remembers it... Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone waiting for you. I hope he'll be able to help you as much as...
Давайте на этом закончим. Я сегодня ладушка. Я хотел вообще сегодня не стрим, думаю, ну ладно, чуть постримить можно. Завтра посмотрим. Вряд ли, ну, завтра уже что-то другое будет. Возможно, что-то из тех игр, которые стратегические у меня есть. Либо завтра ничего не будет, я просто сам отдохну. Это всего. Да, конечно, больше коллективы. Ой, плохо высыпаешься, всякое такое. Ладно. Всем спасибо. Урмата, Снегфлум и всем остальным. Все минимум, как минимум до понедельника. Может быть, раньше еще встретимся. Всем хороших выходных. Отдыхайте.